how to stop second guessing yourself. So we need to look at why people are second guessing themselves in the first place. And I don't know if you're a second guesser, but I don't want to second guess having this as the theme because I think that many people absolutely deal with second guessing. Maybe you've walked away from a conversation and you're replaying everything that you said, wondering if you got it wrong. Maybe you are in a relationship with someone, you chose to give them the benefit of the doubt, and now they're reviolating or doing something that you don't like, and you're second guessing if you should have forgiven them and given them the benefit of the doubt, given them that leeway. Whatever it is, second guessing or guilt are often symptoms of conditioning, not truth. So today's session will give you the tools to retrain your brain and to trust yourself rather than being held as a prisoner to guilt. But why do we second guess? Especially as trauma survivors, you may have had childhood conditioning that caused you to second guess yourself. You may have grown up in an environment where you had constant correction, constant criticism, and so your brain learned in its developmental stage, what I think or choose is probably wrong. My parents doubt me, so maybe I should doubt me as well. If you have parents, teachers, authority figures that scolded you for making mistakes, you develop the habit of double checking yourself because you need to avoid punishment. When you scold a child for making mistakes, you're actually setting the stakes too high. So they're not free to explore and to learn so that they can develop a sense of self, and they instead are afraid and in fear that they're going to get in trouble or they're going to get yelled at or they're going to be scolded for making a mistake. So sometimes even well-intentioned parents can create this in their children. For example, a child says, "I'm cold," and the parent responds, "No, you're not." Over time, the child could learn to doubt their own perception. So we want to be aware of that as parents. But we also need to be aware of that as parents of ourselves, because you have a child you're caring for, your inner child at all times. So when your inner child is talking to you, you want to be validating to your inner child and pay attention to what your inner child is saying, even though it's not the boss. You can still listen, right? We don't have to obey the inner child to be able to listen to it, to validate it. But in your past, you may have had trauma that led to hypervigilance. Hypervigilance is where you're constantly scanning your environment or looking at the other person to try to understand if there's any type of danger based on their body language or based on their tone of voice. You're always worried about the threat. Your nervous system is wired for survival, which means it's not wired for self-trust. It's not about trusting in yourself. It's about making sure that you're able to survive the next situation or circumstance that comes up. So second guessing becomes your protective reflex. And in an effort to try to not make the same mistake or not fall into the same trap, you're reflexively in your mind trying to predict and prevent the harm before it comes. Oh, I saw the way he shifted in his seat. I can see by his facial expression, he might get mad. And that's how we learn to interact with people because we had parents that we were trying to hyperanalyze if we were going to get in some type of trouble because they were unpredictable. And they got really upset, really angry, caused you to second guess yourself. But that reflex never actually turns off. Some of us developed a fear of rejection because we had siblings that would put us on the outside. And so we've learned to second guess our sense of belonging. Humans are wired to search for themselves and others, to desire that connection. So if you felt acceptance was fragile growing up, then now you may fear that one wrong word, wrong move, one wrong tone, one wrong action on your part can cause you to lose out and not have your connection, not have love, respect, belonging. And so you're overanalyzing conversations, decisions, choices, replaying them in your mind to try to make yourself feel like you didn't mess up or figure out where you did mess up. You may be the type of person to have a conversation with someone, go home, start replaying it, and then you send that person a text message later like, "Hey, I'm sorry about what I said." And then that person's like, "What? What are you even talking about?" And you're like, "Oh, I said this," right? Of course, there's internalized guilt that comes from sticky. It's like guilt is like a sticky emotion that lingers even when you didn't do anything wrong. So that comes from uh, wanting to be a good person, being a good person, and then having a way of punishing yourself when you think that you weren't good enough. And that's guilt. I'm punishing me for not being good enough. I did something that I think is wrong. So now I need to feel not good. That's guilt. And it's subconscious, so we don't even realize that we're the ones who are actually making ourselves feel bad. This isn't an external punishment, it's an internal punishment. And if you were raised in a guilt-based environment, your religion, your culture, your family systems were always, it's your fault. Then your mind defaults to, if I feel uneasy, then I must have done something wrong. If the person looks uncomfortable, I must have done something wrong. If they seem mad, I must have done something wrong. If I got hurt by someone, I must have done something wrong. And that belief fuels constant second guessing instead of treating guilt as just a signal that you evaluate and then decide upon how much of a sentence of self punishment you're going to give yourself. You're treating guilt as a sentence of guiltiness, of pain. Oh, I feel guilty. Like you have no control over it. Oh, I'm so guilty. I'm not talking about directly after doing something. I'm talking about days, weeks, months after a situation. Ugh, I just feel so guilty. At a certain point, you need to alleviate yourself from that guilt and let yourself go. You have to forgive yourself. But ultimately, if you lacked validation as a kid, then you may lack self-validation. Because if you didn't have a father that was there telling you how amazing you are, telling you how good you are, telling you how wonderful you are, how precious you are, how loved you are, and how great all your ideas were, and how clever you were, and how good your pictures are, and how smart you are, and how strong and talented and brave you are, then you may have grown up kind of searching for that. And as a result, you're looking to other people and they're giving you inconsistent signals of validation as a child. So then you grow up to have an inconsistent self validation because no one taught you to say, I trust my judgment. So you became dependent on outside approval. And that's you now. You're dependent on outside approval. You're searching for someone to approve you, to validate you. Without self validation, your mind becomes like a vacuum that fills the silence with self doubt. And if you keep trying to subsist on a diet of self doubt, you'll actually become emotionally emaciated. Can't survive on self doubt. You need something that's going to build you up. So you have to self validate, self believe. And if this is you, yeah, give yourself some grace. We're learning now. That's why we're here. Don't beat yourself up. Oh, what he's saying is right. Ah, oh, I hate myself. This is another reason to beat myself down. No, 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 no. Just, oh, what he's saying is right. And now I'm learning. I didn't learn this in my childhood. I'm just now learning. I'm picking it up now at 53. That's fine. Just pick it up now. Just pick it up now. Now's the time. You're still going to be alive, presumably for the next few years or so. So why not just be better for the next few years or so? Don't beat yourself up. So We need tools to retrain our brain to trust ourselves. Our childhood conditioning, the criticism, the lack of validation, the trauma, the hypervigilance, the social pressure, the fear of abandonment, it causes us to self-doubt. The belief that guilt is out of our control and that we have to stay subject to it causes us to self-doubt and to feel guilty, to be stuck in it like it's a prison. So let's bring some awareness to the situation. Let's notice the trigger. If we are in a situation where we tend to self doubt, which might be everything, notice that making decisions on your own causes you to doubt yourself. You might journal or name when you started second guessing yourself. Maybe you don't remember, but pay attention to the body cues, the tight chest, the racing thoughts. What is it when you start being about to second guess yourself? All right, I've been around second guessers. They they're hey, do you want to go and grab some ice cream? I mean, we don't have to grab ice cream. We can just eat pizza or just stay home. I mean, I don't know what you want to do. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. Like, I'm sorry if it feels like I'm trying to tell you what to do because I'm not. Like, I don't mind whatever you want to do is fine. I don't even know why I'm talking right now. I'm sorry if my talking is annoying you. I just tend to be like someone who talks like out loud, but I don't know. I'm also an introvert too, so actually this is really draining me of energy, but I don't know how to stop talking. So, I'm sorry. Anyway, whatever you want to do. I would like some ice cream. I did want some ice cream, but I don't know. I don't know anymore if I want ice cream. That's right. This is a second guesser. Now, if you're the other person, does that feel to you to be calming? Is that a calming presence? Does that person seem confident? You see, a bad guy sees a second guesser like that and says, "Oh, here's someone I can take advantage of." And then you go, "How did the narcissist always find me?" They saw you second guessing across the room. They saw all of that backpedaling and self-correcting and shifting and not standing in your strength and your belief. They saw all that. And they said, "Oh, there's someone I can make doubt themselves." They're already halfway there. They're on the edge of the cliff of self-doubt. So all I got to do is they'll doubt themselves. They'll believe anything I tell them. There's someone I can manipulate easily. They don't seem confident at all. There's someone who needs validation. They're lacking a strong father figure in their life. That's someone I can take advantage of. This is how your abuser thinks. This is how the narcissist, the predators think. They look at you and they see you doing all that, and they're like, bam, that's my next target right there. Not confident. I'm attracted to it. Second guessing attracts narcissists. So be aware first of that nervousness, of that anxiety that's causing you to do that. What's happening to that person, as I imitated, they're in the other person's head. That's the problem. They're too worried about what this person might be thinking of them. Relax. God gave you one head. So don't worry about what's in their head. Just be in yours. Don't, you understand? It's not that we don't care about the other person. It's just that we cannot prioritize what we think they might be thinking over what we are thinking, what we think they might be feeling over what we're feeling, what we know we're feeling. That doesn't make sense. So we have to have a protocol for how we organize things. Even if you have a list of things to do, all of the things on the list may be important, but you organize. First, I'll do this and then that. That doesn't mean that the second thing on the list isn't important. It just means that you need it to organize. So likewise, we have a protocol for how we handle social interactions, with ourselves and our kids, our husband, anyone. And that's that we first deal with us, what we know our needs are. We prioritize advocating for ourselves. And then secondarily, we put in the empathy and the concern for what someone else is thinking, feeling, desiring, needing. And it's not because we care about them less. We care about ourselves equal to everyone else, not more. We care about ourselves equal. It's just that we have to have a protocol to organize for mental health. Because when you try to put them first in order of to do, then you're doing the whole, but I don't know if you want the ice cream. I don't know because well, what do you want? I don't even know what I want anymore. I don't know what I feel. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know who I am. I don't know right. It's too, just let's order this. Let's put the empathy for them right beneath caring for and advocating for ourselves. That would sound something like this. I have a taste for some frozen custard from Culver's. Vanilla with Butterfinger bits. That's what I could go for. I'm flexible, but that's what I could go for. How about you? Wow, mental health, clarity. What did we do there? I just prioritized advocating for my needs, advocating for my child. It was detailed because I meditated to learn to hear my own feelings. I listened. Did you see how much time I took? Right? Like a wine tasting. I'm tasting notes of this and that. That's how you express your emotions by listening to yourself, by exploring. I think I could go for this. I think I would like to do this and just express it and allow it to exist in the universe because you exist, whether you like it or not, you're here. Whether someone else has a problem or not, you're here. Whether it's uncomfortable or an inconvenience to others, you are here. You exist. So just let it be what it is. I'm here. I don't know if it's an inconvenience to you or not, but I could go for some butterscotch vanilla custard from Culver's. Do with that what you will, right? And then comes in the other skills like deference and flexibility. So then they can say what they say. And when we check back in with ourselves, in some cases we say, oh, that's fine. Yeah, we can go there. You're right. McDonald's is cheaper and I don't really care today. Or you're right. Let's support something in the neighborhood rather than corporate. That's a great idea. Wow. A little deference, a little flexibility. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But you didn't fail to advocate for your needs, for your wants. You didn't fail to understand yourself. Just a pause, 7 seconds, just a pause allows you to articulate yourself. CBS, CBS, clear, brief, simple. Just no over talking and over explaining, no second guessing and double talk. Well, but if you want, because all this is because I'm so worried about what they're thinking of me. That's why I keep doing but if you, well, I don't know. I'm not the type of person I'm talking too much about myself and all this. Clear, brief, and simple. I would prefer we go out to dinner tonight rather than eating in. I'm tired of cooking. That's it. That's it. Clear, brief, and simple. CBS, CBS. That's how you express yourself. It's not clear with all of the second guessing. You don't need to second guess. When you are a reasonable and flexible person, then you're able to change your course or your decision based on evidence that tells you that you should. for scientific reasons, right? Based on the situation, the circumstances, you are able to change. There is no need to second guess. There's no need. Once you've made a decision, what you should do when you find yourself second guessing, let's say you bought a car, but now the payments are kicking in. You're going, oh goodness, I don't know. I shouldn't have bought such an expensive car and the payments, and I don't know. I'm over spoiling myself. I didn't need something new. I don't know why I'm doing it. Well, you're second guessing, second guessing, second guessing. Take a pen, take a piece of paper, just write down 3 reasons why your decision was the best decision that you could have made at the time. That's it. Just 3 reasons why your decision is the best decision you could have made at the time. This is self validation. This is not optional. This is mandatory. When you make a decision, validate your decision. It is not a virtue to make a decision and then invalidate it. I don't know if I did the right thing. I probably shouldn't have done that. Validate your decision. Validate it. Write down 3 reasons on a piece of paper. Right now, anything that you're second guessing, write down 3 reasons why you made the best decision that you could have at the time. That's how we navigate life properly. The reality is there's always an infinite number of options. And no matter what you choose, there will be pros and cons. Have you ever heard the saying, darned if I do, darned if I don't? Yeah, welcome to adulthood. There is no choice that you make where there's no darns, where there's no downside. Okay? So validate yourself. Validate your decision. Yes, it's always going to be a downside to every choice. Oh, it's really hard to make this choice because there's a downside either way. Yes, there's a downside either way. Make the best choice that you think you can that prioritizes your needs and wants, and then validate the decision that you made when you're done. Write down 3 reasons. Well, I needed a new car for one. I had to get out of the old one. 2, the down payment was reasonable on this. 3, I like the way this car makes me feel and I've worked hard. Bam, those are my 3 reasons I'm validating myself for having made the decision. We're done. We're not going to regret the decision. Yeah, the payments are going to hurt every month, but we're not going to regret the decision. We made the decision we made. Now we try to make the best of that decision. That's the same way, by the way, that you be a good teammate. Once the captain of the team makes a decision, once the head of the household makes a decision, then you validate it and you try to make it work. Hey, man, we understand why you made the decision. Now we're going to try to make it work. It doesn't work if everybody tries to invalidate the decision of the person who's designated as the decision maker. Well, why did you designate him as the decision maker if you don't want him making the decisions? If he makes the decision, validate it and try to make it work. That's how you be a good follower in a team. That's how you be a good support and validator to yourself. Let go of right and wrong thinking. This is black and white, level 1, childhood level thinking. Like, did I make the right choice? Did I make the wrong choice? It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a right decision and a wrong decision. Go ahead and play with that in your head for as long as you need till you come to the same conclusion. It doesn't exist. There is no such thing as a right and a wrong decision. What there is decisions with varying degrees of being advantageous or detrimental. Varying degrees of being advantageous or detrimental. That's all it is. Varying degrees, not right and wrong. Varying degrees of advantageous. Either it was, so you choose based on what was more advantageous than the other decision. And sometimes they're right here. Those are the hardest ones where they're just neck and neck with each other. Do I start my own business or do I stay working at the company I'm at? Oh, that's decisions. There's no right and wrong. So when you start your own business and then you get rocked with debt and issues and people and customers and it gets overwhelming, you don't say, I made the wrong choice. No, you didn't, because there was no wrong choice. You made the best decision you could at the time with the information that you had. Validate your decision. There is no wrong choice. You decided to take your ex back, and then your ex started acting like the reason why they became your ex. They start reminding you, here's why you dumped me. And they show you all that kind of behavior. Don't go, oh, now I need to feel guilty because I made the wrong choice. I should have known. I should have been smarter. I shouldn't have taken him back. There was no wrong choice. You made a choice, a decision to give him an opportunity. How would you have known for sure if you didn't give him the opportunity? Do you know for sure now? That's a that's partially a result of having given him the opportunity. Okay, so now you're ready to kick him to the curb. Make a decision for your future, for your present, instead of going back in the past and beating yourself up for something going wrong, something not turning out right. The reality is a lot of things that don't go wrong in our life, it's not because we made the wrong choice or the wrong decision. There's other factors. There's no wrong decision, just varying degrees of advantageous or detrimental. And there's other factors. You could start a business and the economy can drop out. You could give somebody a chance and they could take advantage of that chance and decide to hurt you. So validate yourself for even things you deem to be mistakes in the past. Validate yourself by reminding yourself, I made the best decision I could at the time. That was a choice that I made at the time because that was the best decision that I knew how to do. Does that make sense? You're important. You need validation. You need self-trust because who's going to be making your future decisions? I'm not going to be there. There's no human that's going to be there for every moment to be making your decisions for you. You have to make them. Even God doesn't make all your decisions for you. Believe me, I've asked him. He won't do it. He's like, I've given you the wisdom. Now you move forward. If you want wisdom, I'll help you with wisdom, but I'm not going to make all your decisions for you. You have to make the decisions. You got to do it. So give yourself some trust. Give yourself the trust. Not because you've made all the right decisions in the past, but because you are the designated leader of yourself and of your life. You are the one who's going to be making the decisions. So give yourself the trust. Tell yourself, self, I trust you. I know you're going to make the best choice that you can possibly make for us. And you're the one that I can rely on because you're the one that's always going to be there. You're going to be there to make the choice and you're going to be there to suffer with me as a result of the cons of whatever the choice is. There will always be drawbacks. That's not an indication that you made a wrong decision. It's just an indication that we live in a topsy-turvy world. So build yourself up, validate yourself, and release yourself from the unnecessary guilt of things that didn't go as you wish they would have.